other thing that I would like us to talk about is having conflicts, even when about money. Um, we have conversations. There are times when we don't agree about certain things, you know. So maybe we should talk about how we've been able to deal with times when we don't agree about money, whether it's investments, whether it is decision about even the source. Maybe I should resign, you know, and this channel for money to come in.
Yeah.
We've had, we've had disagreements about money. So how should a couple fight fair? Let me use that word. Or just have the type of disagreement that does not destroy the goals and the vision and even the marriage itself, because money have caused a lot of issues. Research even have shown several things that money is one of the cause of divorce. So it could be financial infidelity, which is also something we will talk about later. It could be mismanagement, it could be lack. Several dimensions for several people have caused conflict and of course caused divorce. So let's talk about having disagreements over money and how we were able to manage through them.
You know why I'm sighing? Because this, oh gosh, this is real. And, we've definitely had some those conflicts. We've had those conversations, tough conversations about money. I think some of the things that I have learned, and we are still learning. We're still a work in progress, but that I have learned, or we have learned, not I, because even after we have a conflict, then we have a conversation about the conflict, and then we, after we resolve, we learn. And it's one of the things I love about us is that we learn from every conflict, and that helps us grow. The first thing that I would say about this is to learn to listen. Learn to listen to one another. It's about perspectives, and this, whether you're having conversations or discussions about money or about anything, because if you're having a conversation about money and it leads to conflict, it's still conflict. Whether it's about money or about anything else, it's still conflict.
Yeah.
So learn to listen to one another. Learn to recognize that no one person's opinion is superior. There might be a superior opinion knowledge. That's actually a better way to put it. There might be superior knowledge in operation, but we're looking at things from different perspectives.
Yeah.
And so there have been times when, you've wanted to take certain decisions and about money, and like you said, I'll be like, calm down, hold on. When that happens, sometimes it can become a heated argument, right? But if I'm so confident in my own knowledge or my own opinion, and you're so confident in yours, and then we're going to keep butting heads. So what has really helped us in the past and still helps us is when we're seeing that, okay, this is so that this doesn't escalate, I pause and I listen to you. Let me hear all the facets of your argument, so to speak, in this matter. And then you present your case. And then you also pause and you listen. And I present my case. And sometimes we find that, many times actually, we'll find that this is where we're going, but you're coming from this direction, I'm coming from this direction. And it's like, okay, we're both heading here. Or we're heading somewhere, but you're looking at something from one perspective, I'm looking at another perspective. So basically, if we listen to one another, if you are not so confident in your own position and in your own opinion that you think what the other person is saying is not, no, I have thought this through, the truth is, both parties are like I said, if you recognize that both of you are business partners, you would respect the other person's opinion. So that listening to understand, listening with intent, listening with respect is so important, and it goes both ways. Because sometimes, as the man, as the leader, and as the authority, there's that tendency to sometimes want, not necessarily just for you, but in most marriages, the man feels like, okay, in this situation, I'm the authority, just listen to me. But we've also seen, even from research and men who have been confident and bold enough to come forward to say, I would have made so many mistakes in my life if I had not listened to my wife. Because there's also, it's all about strengths and gifts. God has gifted, I think, women with something extra. And I call that intuition. So sometimes, yes, there's the strategic thought, and all of that, but there's also sometimes just that intuition that a woman has.
Yeah.
So my first rule basically is listen. Both parties, just listen to one another. You will find that there's something good in what each person is saying. And when we have done that, when we have listened to one another, we may end up doing what you want to do, but we end up doing it differently. Or we end up doing it at a timeline. We set a different timeline. Oh, I want to do it in January, and then we agree to do it in September because we listen to one another. But it's not like we don't do it at all.
Yeah.
So listen is very important. The second rule is transparency. You have to be transparent. You cannot, like you said, you cannot make decisions unilaterally. You cannot, because and I want to say this for everyone who's listening, you cannot make that decision on your own because you think, if I share it with this woman, she's going to tell me something, or she's going to delay me, or she's going to, so that's where transparency comes in, because that can also happen sometimes. So be transparent. Recognize that person as your business partner. You're not going to recognize your spouse as your business partner. You're not going to take financial decisions in a business or in a company without your business partners being aware. So listen and be transparent. And, at the end of the day, this is wisdom.
Yeah.
This is wisdom. This is wisdom from above. If you operate this way, you won't even really have conflict, because when you're having conversations, you're listening to one another, and you won't even have those conversations if you're not transparent. So it's the transparency that will lead to the conversations anyway. So those, for me, are two critical factors when it comes to managing conflicts, financial conflict, or in marriage. Listen to one another. Do your research also, because like we said, superior knowledge. Do your research when you're having conversations about money. It's opinion versus opinion. Seek knowledge. Find out what is the best practice. You want to take invest in something. Let's read about it. Let's ask questions about it. It's not just I think, one person thinking and the other person thinking. So listen, be transparent, do the work. Do some research about it.
I wanted to add, to the research bit, because I think that there are times when we have different opinions about things, and quickly we'll just go to Google.
Yes.
Let Google solve this problem first. Let's see what the best practice, let's see what the best practice is. Let's see what, is out there in terms of the superior knowledge, to know at least where we are at with our conversation. It's important to research. It's important to do your homework. It's important to ask ChatGPT, So the idea about research
is ask ChatGPT.
Ask Google. The idea about research is that you want to be able to have the right knowledge and understanding about what you guys are even having conflict about, or different opinions. Because sometimes even when we go to ChatGPT will not give you 5 options. The 2 things we are talking about are already there.
They're already in there.
So it's now to just have a holistic approach to it, and it helps us to make decisions in terms of timelines, how much to invest, and all of that.
Yeah.
Things as simple as, oh, we want to sow a seed. We have to agree on that.
Yeah.
So agreement is powerful when it comes to money, because if one person is controlling and dominating, there will not be agreement, because the other person is just saying yes, but in their heart they are not agreeing. So there is the physical agreement that is like, I'm obeying what you're saying, so you can see that I'm obeying what we're trying to do, but there's no submission in the heart. And so the controlling guy says something and say, we must do this, and you say, okay. But in your heart, you've not agreed. So for me, that was also one of the things I learned early, to say, I'd rather be delayed than rushing to do something but not be in agreement with you.
Yeah.
So yes, sometimes it would take time for you to get to where, because I've taken time to think about something. I probably might be thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for the past 3 weeks.
Exactly.
And then I come at you and I'm like, we have to do this thing. And we have to do it next week.
To catch up.
So that in itself
Yeah.
is, now I am understanding that, because I've used 3 weeks, 1 month to process something. I got a revelation. I started thinking about it and all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm processing it. I'm refining it. And then I'm bringing it to you. And I expect you to agree in 2 days. And so let's start next week.
1 day sometimes.
Yeah. So I have learned that it doesn't work like that. Ensure that the other person bring all your ideas, your knowledge, your research, everything, because you want to make informed decision, and then help the other person to really understand where you're coming from, and give them time to process it, because it's better to agree and go into something, because the blessing of the Lord will be upon it, as compared to doing something and your partner is not in agreement. So I would rather be delayed than jumping into something without being in agreement with you. So agreement really is important. And so as we have that transparent and open, honest communication, what it also does is that there are some aspects of maybe the finances that I'm not even seeing. Sometimes I don't know even how much the exact amount that we have in the account. Sometimes I'll be like, babe, how much do we even have now? Because I don't even have the exact, so I maybe even be planning, trying to do things with money that I don't even know how much we have. Or I don't know when the next school fees will be paid. Or when the next, those type of things that you are the one who does the operations on. So you've already calculated where this money will go to for this payment, for that payment. I don't know. My own is, let's just do. So those conversations help to be able to get us to a place where we can say, oh, this is what we have. These are all the things that are already in line in the next 3-4 months. That's why you can't do this investment now. Can we do it in the next 6 months?
I love it when we have those kinds of conversations. Gosh,
And we also go out on dates to have financial conversations, because sometimes having it on the bed we can have disagreements, and it's a little bit, but when you go out on dates, that is a romantic,
romantic / business meeting.
Exactly. So we have to ensure that the atmosphere is good enough to have certain conversations. Sometimes money conversations can be tough, but I think we've tried to do well, So let's round up with, some tips that, can really be helpful for people who are operating best practice, like your money is our money, my money is our money. How do people, or how should people manage their money? There are principles around, you should have a job, have business, at least have a source of income. The principles around you have to save a portion. Other things like, paying tithe for those of us who pay tithe, save, have money kept for savings, for investment, those type of things. So just give a few tips around some of the things we've done to help us grow financially.
I want to say maybe this is also, well, it's definitely a tip. I want to start with it because it was running through my mind as you were speaking, and I don't want to forget it. Financial responsibility is so important. You have to grow to become responsible with finances. You have to be mature with your finances. So, for example, if you're operating with the best practice and your partner trusts you with money. Say for example you're the saver, like I'm the saver and I'm the operations manager of our household.
Yeah.
And the finance manager. That means that you trust me with our money. And so I have to be responsible with that money. I can't take what we have agreed to save and go and use it to do something that we did not agree to. I can't take that money and no matter how much I want something, you go and use it to just anything that is out of what we have agreed to. So it's very important that, in marriage and in managing finances, be responsible, be accountable, be worthy of that trust that is placed on you. So yes, that, because sometimes I've heard people say, oh, I can't trust my husband with money, or I can't trust my wife with money. They're just going to squander it, or they're going to spend it, or they're going to use it to do X, Y, and Z. So you can't work together. You cannot be successful together if you're not responsible with that which is entrusted into your hands. Additional tips. I'll say some, but I know that you have some as well. Yes, a double income household is great. Like we said, it's still one unit, but the more streams of income you have, the better. And so if both parties are doing something to increase the number of streams, the better for the household. So yes, as much as you can, both parties should do something. Now, there are also households that agree that only one person will be working or maybe doing a job or earning income for the time being. This is not to say, oh, you can't operate like that. Just make sure you have multiple streams. But even if you have all of one person doing the work, recognize that that unit, that household is one unit. So even though you are going out, so to speak, and bringing home the bacon, there's somebody that is cooking the bacon.
Operationalizing things.
So, because this has caused, we're very aware of the kinds of conflict that comes when only one person is bringing in the money, and it's like, oh, what are you doing all day? But, that person is managing the household all day. And if you recognize that, you're operating as one unit, whether the person who goes to battle or the person who stays in the camp to keep the camp, both must share in the spoil, right? Both have significant roles to play. Even in the military, I'm not very familiar with military terms, but they're, the foot soldiers, they're the people who go, and then the people who cook. They're all in the battle, they're all out on the field together. So basically what I'm saying is, even if one person is earning or bringing in the money, you're still operating as one unit. So it's not, it's my money. Recognize whether it's both people working, earning, or one person working and earning, you're still one unit. So operate as that one unit. But as much as possible, have more than one stream. If it is something that you do not have now, try to work towards it. There are many, resources to guide, how to do that, which we're not going into right now. The other tip that I have is, I think we touched on that a little bit, is make sure that you save. I think the standard practice is have your emergency savings, enough money that can sustain you for up to 6 months. So let's say in your household expenses every month, let's say you spend 500,000, for instance, on all of your household expenses, bills, food, school fees, rent, like whatever you're saving. That means that you have to make sure that you're saving enough to 500 times 6 months.
To get
Have
at least
that,
3 million.
saved.
Mm-hmm.
That you're not going to touch it. That's your rainy day.
Yeah.
If you can save more than that, but that's just like the barest minimum, have that. Then whatever comes in after that, of course, you have to, so you have your emergency savings, your rainy, you have saving towards certain things. So have target savings. Have target savings is so important. If you're paying rent, for example, we had this conversation, and if you're paying rent, divide up your rent by 12 months, right? Because you pay your rent, we pay our rent annually in Nigeria. Save the amount, if you divide it up by 12 months, save the amount that you need every month, so that when the day your rent is due, you are not at that point running helter-skelter to look for that
asking
money.
God for a miracle.
If
when you did not plan.
So plan your have target savings. Save towards your rent, save towards your children's school fees. We do that. Like operationally, I have an account where we put money every month so that when the school fees is due, we're not looking for money for school fees. We have school fees sorted. By September, we have school fees. By, so and so, we have rent, because we've divided it up. So have your target savings for annual or periodic bills, monthly or quarterly bills like school fees, annual bills like rent, save, whatever you can. And then have a budget. So operate this household unit like it is a business, because that's what we talked about. Like it's a company, and the two of you are business partners. So one person is a financial manager, the other person is operations manager. Whatever dynamics works for you, have a budget. And within that budget, that's where you allocate money. So your quarterly savings, your monthly savings, your annuals, all of those things. So in fact, tip number 2 is that because number 1 is have income. Number 2 is have a budget. Because it is even within your budget that you can save for in your emergency savings. Those are some of the few that I'll share for now.
Those are very, very important tips. You can't know where your money is going to if you don't budget.
And budget for investments.
Yeah, of course, budget for investment. You can't. How is it that if you just live life, just spending money without having a track of it, you don't even know how you're not even sending your money on an errand. So you don't have a budget and you're not sending your money. You don't know what you're spending money on. That's not planning. Budgeting helps you to be more responsible, to be able to know where your money is going to, and that helps you to also review and to see, so with this budget, it looks like we need another stream of income to be able to. So it helps to even direct your focus, your vision, financial goals. Because with budgeting, you know exactly what's coming in, you know exactly what you're spending, you know exactly what you can save. And you can tell yourselves that, I think we need 2 more streams. Because we have not factored in vacations. Because this money is not enough to even travel to Dubai or travel. So let's have other streams of income. So those are that's budgeting helps to plan. Okay, so target savings, very important. You don't wait until 11th, when your landlord is reminding you that your rent is due in 2 weeks. Now you now start disturbing everybody. You want to borrow money, you want to... How do you think that somebody should give you money for your rent when you did not plan for 1 whole year to just keep something aside, no matter how little? Just keep something aside. It shows that you're financially disciplined. It's like, so your wife you've decided you want to have a child, Your child is going to come in 9 months' time. When your child is ready, you don't have 50,000 naira.
When your child is ready, I like that.
So you don't have money for hospital bills. You don't have money for anything, and then you're disturbing the whole world. They didn't sleep with your wife to give birth to the child. So what I'm saying is, it's important to show that you plan and you are disciplined, no matter how little. like, yes, 6 months is very ideal for emergency savings. Start with 1 month, because it's not everybody that have enough money to save. Start with 1 month. You will grow as you keep saving. Money grows. You start with 1 month, you increase to 2 months, you increase to 3 months, until one day it may take you 2 years to get to 6 months to be able to have that target. But just start and be disciplined. So, like all of these things we are talking about, you find out that it to take budgeting to get there. Because you have to be able to allocate, okay, so I earn 200,000. This 10,000 is just 10,000. This 10,000, I'll keep it for rent. Yes, if at the end of the day you don't have up to your rent money, at least you have 70%. If you're now asking for 30%, or you're asking God, I've done my own part, I need help, God will show up for you. People will show up for you. But you can't come and say, my rent is 3 million. I need all the 3 million from you. You did not plan. So it's important to have that, to understand that with money you have to plan. Money flows towards someone who plans and is intentional about how to use it and multiply it. So just to add to what you've said, I'll add a few things. Those of us who are Christians, we pay our tithes. Because we believe tithing is really a way to worship God and to say, all of this belongs to you, but we want to worship you with what we have brought, and for a new creation, 10% is not it. There is no law that is saying you must pay 10%. If you can pay 20%, pay. If you can bring out 30%, pay. So the idea is I'm worshiping you with, portion to say, thank you for giving me life to be able to have the time to, and the skills and everything to be able to, one of the things it does is to help also push the kingdom of God and the work of God on earth. One other thing that I also add is have something for charity. We run a non-profit. We have percentage that goes into that non-profit. We have people that we have to pay. We have projects we have to do. So no matter how small, put something for charity. Charity may not be for us. We have a non-profit that we run, but we also have family members that somehow, we have to support. So if there is a percentage for charity, it makes sense. Why I'm saying a percentage for charity also is, once that percentage has finished for that month, you are done. So I learned this the hard way, because even all my personal money, I'll be giving, and I would end up not having even for myself. So we had to say, okay, if we're giving 20,000, 100,000 for charity for this month, that's it.
It's a budget line item.
It's a budget line item.
That's it.
So anybody that, this is my auntie, this is my uncle, this friend, anybody that, maybe reaches out and they're in need, and we give until that money finishes, that's finished. Anybody who comes by the 15th of that month, sorry, I don't have. You won't feel bad about it.
Because you really do not have to.
Because every other thing, you've allocated money for those things. So it's not like you're not going to take money for your rent to go and give somebody. You've already budgeted it. So, but if you don't place a name to the amount you are budgeting, anybody that comes, you just give because he has no name. You think you have money. So it's important to budget and have a name for each of the amounts that you're putting aside. So that way you can control even your spendings, and even your investments. So I think we'll
add one more, or maybe it's one with a two-edged. It's a double-edged.
Okay, so we'll round up with that. We'll round up with that one.
Delayed gratification and foresight. Delayed gratification, because sometimes money will come in, like you may have like a windfall, unexpected money, and you feel like, this is the time to buy this car, or this is the time to buy this, whatever it is that you. Why I said it's double-edged, because foresight. If you have foresight, and because foresight helps you plan ahead, it helps you look into the future. So, for example, some people just live day to day. It's like, okay, as it comes, you're, foresight helps you plan as far as, okay, my children are in primary school now. At some point, they're going to go to secondary school. At some point, they're going to go to university. Can I think that far ahead?
Yeah.
And begin to plan even for that. That's one example. There's so many other things that you can have foresight for and plan ahead. If you have foresight or even plan ahead, for some people, that planning ahead is as simple as even their next rent, or they're expecting a baby.
Yeah.
And you, like you said, you have 9 months. So you're thinking, okay, by the time I have this child, how much am I going to need for X, Y, and Z? How much is that am I going to need for that child by time for the first 12
1 year.
months of their life?
With consistent diaper change.
Do you understand?
Milk.
Like thinking that far ahead and not thinking, okay, I'm earning money, so not what if something happens? So thinking that far, how much am I going to need for the next? Okay, can I begin to allocate something now? By the time you think that way, if you think with foresight, you would automatically just have delayed gratification, because it's like, okay, this is not the time to buy this car. This is not the time to, buy this phone or this expensive watch or whatever. There will come a time, of course, when you will have enough of a windfall. And there are people who are disciplined enough to say, okay, I want a car, I'm going to save towards it. I want this particular watch, I'm going to save it. I'm not just going to carry a huge sum of money from this month's income and buy that thing. I'm going to save, so it's part of the target savings that I talked about. So to be financially successful, you must have foresight and you must delay some things.
Yeah. Delay gratification is very important in everything in life. Be disciplined. So we would end here.
Yes.
It's been an interesting conversation.
Yes.
One of the things that, if you're a couple that is watching this, I would say, be honest with each other about money. There's practically nothing that I spend money on that we don't agree on. In fact, one thing. So how one of the things that would be a tip, very important tip, have pocket monies.
Yes.
So in our budgets, we have pocket monies. This money is because you also don't want a case where you are looking like you are being stifled, with this whole money thing. We have pocket money. Yeah, we
with
pay
your own money.
Yes, we pay ourselves. We pay ourselves every month, and we are free to use that money to do whatever we like, without asking the other person. I want to use this money. No, this money is my money. If I want to use it to go and buy only hair, it's my business. If I want to use it to buy perfume, if I want to use it to travel to New York, it's your personal money. So have your pocket money where you don't have to ask for permission from your partner to spend it. That's your personal money every month.
That is the perfect thing to round
so
this up with.
that is really very good. That way you avoid conflict. You don't have to always seek for permission because you have money that you are free to use whichever way you want, however you like. So be honest with your partner, be open, be transparent, budget, plan, and have a financial goal and target. So by the end of this year, we have to be able to have saved this amount. We should be able to have made this amount because it helps to just broaden your vision and your commitment to make that happen. So have a financial vision and goal. And wishing you all the best as you try to grow financially.
Yeah.